Hello, recently I've been talking about a lot of topics that really, on the surface, it may not seem like it has a lot to do with gold and silver, but in reality it does. I've been um, making some videos about education, about critical thinking, and all of this actually has a lot to do with gold and silver and finance because uh, the mass media, the mass financial media, that is basically like the ministry of propaganda. So if you can't learn to critically think for yourselves and to challenge and question what so-called pundits on Bloomberg, Reuters, MSNBC uh, are saying, or on the Wall Street Journal, then you really won't understand the truth about gold and silver ever. But if you want more on point articles or discussions of gold and silver specifically, not necessarily how to get the right mindset to understand the truth about gold and silver, about the global monetary system and banking, then you can check out my blog because I posted some articles there recently, which is the address is www.smartknowledgeu.com backslash, is it backslash? Forward slash blog. And you can also subscribe to our free newsletter, which you can do. You can sign up at our homepage, www.smartknowledgeu.com. So today I wanted to discuss the topic about following your dreams because in this difficult economic environment we're in, I hear a lot of people that are unhappy with their jobs but are too afraid to venture out on their own. And I think that, and certainly it is a little riskier considering the economic situation we're today versus 10 years ago, and starting your own business. But I also believe a lot of that, the reason people will not quit a job that is not satisfying to them to start their own business has to do with self-doubt. And a lot of times these self-doubts are reinforced by their so-called friends that tell them they can't do something. But a lot of times only people that are too weak to follow their own dreams will constantly try to pull down other people's dreams. So that's one thing we have to realize, is that there are always going to be haters out there, and often people that are your so-called friends who should be supporting you because they can't do it themselves try to tear you down. So you shouldn't succumb to that type of discouragement. Number two, which ties into some of the previous videos I just released, a lot has to do with our education system because it commands and reinforces in people obedience to authority. People really do not get to flourish within the type of institutional academic system that is widespread all throughout the world. So in other words, it teaches people how to become the Omega Wolf instead of the Alpha Wolf. And the funny thing about an Omega Wolf is that often Omega Wolves, if you observe them in their pack, you will think that they are actually smaller wolves than other wolves in the pack, because Omega Wolf is like the lowest ranking wolf member, where the Alpha Wolf is the highest ranking wolf member. So the Alpha Wolf gets to eat first after every kill. The Omega Wolf only gets the scraps that are left over after all the other wolves eat. Now, a lot of times, zoologists that study wolves in their natural habitat have discovered that the Omega wolves actually slouch when they walk, and they kind of bend their legs. So they never notice until they get out of the position, because an Omega wolf can actually get out of the position of being the Omega wolf if the wolf pack accepts other new wolves into their pack, or a female wolf has cubs, and maybe one of the cubs will become the Omega wolf. And then the Omega wolf will stand up straight when it walks, and they realize, wow, this Omega wolf is actually huge, and it wasn't that small. So I think, the analogy is because education teaches everyone, every child to be, and every young woman, and every young man to be an Omega person. That we don't have this innate belief in ourselves that education should have taught us to have. So it doesn't even matter if we're not in school anymore, if we're 10 years removed from school or 20 years removed from school, it doesn't matter. We can still, it's never ever too late to learn how to transition from becoming an Omega into an Alpha. And I believe, and I firmly believe this, that everyone has it within themselves to be an Alpha person, to be a leader, and to be creative. And there have been studies that have shown this. I remember reading one academic study. I can't remember if it's done in the UK. It's either done in the UK or the US, where they measured the genius level, and it was just measuring by creativity. And they followed. It was a can't remember what the clinical term is, but they actually tracked the same students over time, right? So they measured their creative level when they were in kindergarten, and it turned out like 98% of them were geniuses. But by the time they had gone through the academic educational system, which stifles creativity, which stifles individuality, and which stifles that alpha maleness or the alpha femaleness, if that's a word, and teaches people to be, the young adults, transforms them into Omegas. By the time they were in their 20s, it had totally reversed, and something like less than 5% graded out as geniuses in creativity, where 98% of them had graded out at that level in kindergarten. So it only took, about 13 or 14 years for them to have all their creativity and genius thinking basically hammered out of them by the academic system. So all I'm going to say to all the people I've spoken to that really want to start their own business but are a little nervous about doing it is, and this ties back into some of the concepts I discussed in my last video, is don't pursue something that you think will just make you money, because then the chances of success are not too good. Because if you're not successful in making lots of money very quickly, you're going to lose interest and you will probably fail. However, if you choose to pursue a business that will make you happy, makes other people happy, and that you are passionate about, then your chances of success go way up. So I would only suggest that for those considering starting your own business, do something that you are really passionate about, because material things will not really buy you sustainable happiness. They might buy you fleeting and evanescent happiness, and they might make you happy for a day, a week, a month, or maybe even a year. But after that, all material goods have like the law of diminishing returns and the law of diminishing satisfaction. The satisfaction you get out of it incrementally decreases over time. So you need to find something more sustainable. And if you pursue a business that you're passionate about, then probably that business model and the profitability of that business will be more sustainable over time as well. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our video channel. And also, please leave comments below. Until next time, so long.